Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 9642 Southwest Lodestone Drive here in Beaverton. We're located at the front of the home, just beyond the front door here in the patio. We've got a 3-inch ABS cleanout. This will be the point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. And right here, just 3 feet in, it does appear that we've got some root intrusion through a joint. It looks like it's starting. It's hard to tell if it's starting right here at this first joint. It almost looks like there's something coming out of the joint on the left side of the screen there. It's difficult to tell, but definitely coming through a crack or a joint right here at just only 3 feet out. I will recommend a repair there to correct that. And then we got a transition here at 8 feet, switches over to 4-inch PVC pipe. Alrighty, and here at 29 feet out we have reached the main lateral. The line's going straight up from the house to lodestone. I'm going to go ahead and shut the water off with the line drain out here before reeling back the camera. Alrighty, pretty much all the water is now drained out of the line. Looks like we do have a little bit of standing water here in the pipe. This it doesn't drain out completely. What's left over is only, at least so far, is only about a 16th to an 18th of an inch of standing water. It's very, or I'm sorry, a 16th to an 1/8 of an inch of water, which is very, very minimal. Standing water becomes an issue when there's 2 or 3 inches of standing water. Alright, here's a little bit different spot. We do have some standing water right here just before the transition point. I think there was some toilet paper hanging out here when we first came down. This is one of those spots where if you avoid things like big wads of toilet paper, paper towels, and grease and stuff like that, stuff that really shouldn't be going down the line, everyth's probably going to make it through here without too much issue, as there is some space above that standing water for things to clear out. But you can see that there is debris that's hung up here. There was some toilet paper when we first went out, so this could be a spot where debris could build up, or at least could clog easily, because there's a pretty hard turn right here accompanied with standing water. And both those things work pretty well to slow everything down. And this is only 7 feet out from the cleanout, which is very, very close to the home. So I mean, that would be, the water should be moving quite quickly through here at just a short distance away from the house. So I'm going to locate this spot right here. It's 7 feet out. And it's kind of hard to tell with the standing water if this is a 45 or a 90-degree turn, but the turn coupled with the standing water here, it makes for kind of a recipe to cause debris and everything to hang out. And again, when we first went out, there was toilet paper stuck right here in the line. And you can kind of see how there's grease and stuff building up on the sidewalls. It looks like when the water's running, this is probably completely full of water, which makes it that much harder for things to clear out of here. Alrighty, I went ahead and marked this spot here. I pushed the camera out a little bit further to flatten out the camera to get a better signal. The line here is actually quite deep for only being 7 feet out. I was getting a depth of right around 9 feet. When the camera is surrounded by standing water at a depth like that, I would always recommend relocating to double check, but it does appear to be quite deep, right around the 9-foot depth mark. And I would just recommend referring this to a repair contractor to see if they are, to get a second opinion on whether that should be fixed or not, because this is one of those situations where to dig down 9 feet, it's quite a hole to dig, and it's worth having a cost benefit there. But just based on what I've seen so far, there was debris hung up in that spot, so it's an area that could definitely cause issues as far as flow goes. And then right here we have a root intrusion through the joint. I'm just going to push the camera here to about 2 feet, 3 feet out, and I'll do another marking here. Both spots will be marked with a white X. Alright, I had to kind of move the camera back and forth here. There's a bunch of plants to kind of locate around. It's kind of a little bit tricky. And because the pipe keeps turning and diving deeper as it goes, it's just a tricky spot to get depths. But what I'm looking at here, the markings from the roots to the little belly in the line, you could call it, at that turn at about 7 feet out, the markings are very close together, only a few feet apart, and that's because the line starts diving off here pretty deep. But it's one of those things where if you're going to dig a hole down deep and they're in the relatively same vicinity, it's one of those situations where you might as well fix both issues if it is possible. But we do have root intrusion here. I highly recommend relocating, just because of the way the line turns and angles and dives off deep. It's kind of tricky to get locates spot on, so I just recommend doing that. And it looks like the repair is ranging from about 5 feet deep to 9 feet deep, depending on what part of the line you're in there, between 3 feet and 7 feet out. I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera out. I do recommend a rescope after any repair work to ensure that one, the roots were corrected, and two, that the at 45 or 90 degree turn at 7-8 feet out was also corrected, so it's draining properly through there.